Hello there, my name is Ispas. Welcome to another Blender 2.8 tutorial. So this time we're going to be creating this cursor here, and yeah, let's get to it. And just a reminder, if you want to get the project files, you can find them on my Patreon account or my CG Trader account. I'll be uploading them there, and you can examine the project yourself, and you can also build on top of that. Since this is going to be a part series, and this is going to be part 1. So what we're going to do, instead of modeling the entire cursor in one go, we're going to model parts of it, and you can see there's a lot of repetition here. I can see this I don't know, how would you call this tower here is the same as this, and it is almost the same as this, but maybe these ones are bigger, but you can see it's just a lot of repeating here. So we're just going to make these different parts and then put them together later. So let's begin by making this small tower that we can duplicate into this one here. So I will just change this to UV editor and add this image as a reference image so that I can easily see that here. I don't know why this usually doesn't work when you're trying to drag. Maybe my mouse is really bad, but okay, so let's add let's begin with adding a cylinder. So you just use, let me turn on screencast, the keys here. A moment. For some reason this add-on doesn't work when I try importing it using the settings and the preferences. So I have to import the scripts one by one to make it work. So you can see all the keys I use will be down here. You just see them down here. So let's get started. So Shift A, let's add a cylinder. Let's expand this. Shift A, cylinder. I can expand this. Can I move this? I can't. So let's use around 12 vertices. For everything else we can change later. So I'll just go to wireframe, scale it down to fit the size, scale it up a bit like that. Yeah, like that. So let's make these outer rings that you see there. Just go to shading mode. Maybe I can turn on random colors and cavity, just to make our viewport look cooler. So what I'm going to do, I would have used an array here. Maybe I should, I don't know. Yeah, because these rings that go around here look identical to these top ones here. So if I was thinking of just modeling these. Let me just show you what I was going to do. So what I was thinking of is using the mirror modifier, and go to top mode. So I would delete, make sure in wireframe, I would delete this part, this face. Okay. Oh, I need to first delete this face here. This face. So what I was going to do was go to edit mode, delete all of this, and just remain with one section like that, and then use the mirror modifier to bring all the other parts back, and then I would just start adding more details, maybe like beveling this, then extrude along normals for this until I got the shape that you see those rings are created. But because these are the same rings that are going to be used, like a zip line, a zip design, but this is the same ring that is going to be used on this. Instead of using it this way, this would be a lot of repeating. I would have to repeat it for this part here, for this straight wall. So instead of doing that, I'm just going to use, let me undo all of these. what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use an array modifier to do that. So for that, let's add a cube. Maybe let's add a plane. Rotate it 90 degrees to face us, and we'll just go on top here. Problem, this is not really high resolution. Let me see if I can find a much higher resolution image here on my second screen. Okay, let's see. I think it's still the same. The resolution is not good. Let's just do our design, make our own design. So we're going to make one of these things here. So I'll just think I can add a loop here, then extrude these for in front. Select this edge, extrude it in the Y. Maybe move it to the down a bit. Extrude again. Extrude in the Y direction. Extrude again. Extrude in the Y direction, and then extrude down again. I can make these curved by using the bevel tool. Let's see. You can also first delete this here. We just extrude everything at once. And okay, so we have a shape like this, and you can see there is some kind of curve. So if we add a loop here, we can delete this here, this as a loop, and add a mirror modifier. Then we can add an array modifier as well. In the X direction, we can increase the count, not the offset, but the count. Let's say 10. You see there is a curve between these here. So for that, we can, let's say if we add a cut here using the knife tool like this. And maybe, let's see how this J to join that. I don't want it to go all the way, so I can just connect it here. Now we can delete these faces here, something like that, and we can also join this to that. Select this edge, extrude it in the Y direction, make it connected to that using the F key. We can also select these, extrude them in the Y direction, then make a face connection like that. We need this to be straight, so at least these two to be straight, so we can straighten them up by scaling them in the Y direction with the by zero amount, and so we have something like that. I think if we turned on clipping in the mirror modifier, we can select this face, extrude it, and then move it in the X direction. Okay, so this is the array. So to avoid this going through the array, we just need to select this loop here and make sure that it's all in a straight line like that, and then we can select this and this, turn it into a face, this and that, turn it into a face. So we have our first thingy there. Let's save this castle. Okay, it's a single S, not double S. So what I'm going to do is I'll save this into a project, into a folder. So if you want to begin from there, you can just find the project file there. I'll be uploading that in my CG Trader account or my Patreon account, so that you can download it if you want. Just to make this a little bit more detailed, we can select this face here, then hit I to insert, and what we need, we can also extrude this inside, but I don't like this design here, so we can select these faces, delete, then select this loop here, from here, and then because we have clipping turned on, you can just move them closer and they will snap together. We have that. I think we can also, this is too deep, so we can bring it back just a bit, and maybe also move this like that. I think we can also, let's see, if we selected this, push it back a bit and made this a bit rounded like that. I think that would be a nice design. And now we can also select this face and then extrude it back like that. So let's see how to bring this around to curve around this tower. So for that, we can add a curve. Let's select this tower, Shift S, cursor to selected, and then select the curve, Shift S, selection to cursor to snap it to this circle. Then also select this. We can use Alt D to make an instance of this, a copy instance of this, so that when we make any edits to this will be applied to this as well. So then we also need to snap it to the cursor, selection to cursor like that. Move it up a bit, and then we can use, let's first hide this. Then we can add a curve deformer. Select this curve as our deform object. Let's try changing the axis so to -y and see how that works. Okay, let's change it back to, and then let's scale this down a bit, because you see, let's also unhide this tower. Scale this. Oh, I think it has been flipped in the wrong direction, so let's try -y, -x. Yeah, this is the right direction, but there is some scaling issues now. So let's try moving this closer by moving it in the Z direction. Yes, so around there. Move it in the Y direction to move it up. I think we can also scale it in the Y direction. I'm not sure what's going on here. Okay, we need to rotate this in let's see what direction. Okay, in the, is it supposed to be like this? Okay, so what we can do is apply the rotation of this of the curve. We have applied that. Now I don't know where the other. Let's first remove this. Delete this. Apply rotation and scale for this object, and also before we add the curve deformer, let's apply rotation and scale of this curve, and so that we don't run into those issues. So let's duplicate this, make an instance duplicate of this, and then we can add our curve deformer again. Select the curve, scale this down. Yes, so this is a bit confused of how this is supposed to look. You know what? Just to make this simple, I'll go to the material editor, add a material, because I want to know the direction where these things are facing. So give it a material like this, add another one for the top. Just give it a red, a sign, and then for these front facing, for this face here, I can add another material. And because this is an instance, the same materials are being applied. Okay, so this is facing the wrong direction, so we can try mirroring this in the Z direction. Yes, so I think this is how it's supposed to be. Yeah, everything is facing the right direction, so we can delete these faces again. Go back to workbench shader, move this down, scale it, scale the curve and the object. Where are these? Let's also set the cursor to selection and then scale this via median point, via 3D cursor. So we need to increase the array count until they connect. If they are intersecting, you can scale them down a bit until they are not, and you can also turn on merge so that they can merge at a certain threshold. So we have the first ring done. I think we can just also make another array instance. We move this after the curve, and change the relative offset and the count to 1. Where is this? Let's say 2. Yeah, it's supposed to be 2. And then we can move this in like that. Make sure this cavity, turn on shadows. Yeah. So you can also turn on smooth shading for this, and maybe smooth shading for this as well. But you can go to, because it's also making sharp edges smooth, we can go to the data properties of the object, and then under normals you can turn on auto smooth. Something like that to make it look like this, and we can come to the original shape, move this like this. If you want, let's see if I select you can select this ring here, expand it so that we increase the size of the mesh, and we can also select this here, subdivide, and connect this like that. Then we can also add a loop here and select the face, this face, drag it up like this, just adding a few more details like that. And I think we can connect, select this, extrude in the Y, make sure that all these faces are aligned, are on the same line, and we are scaling them using the median point as the pivot point. Now maybe we can also cut here, subdivide this, and join this like that. Select these two and these two, and then hit the right click, bridge edge loops, so that we have something like this. If you want, you can also add another loop around here, say. And this is all going to depend on how detailed you want to be. And yeah. This is what we have. And you can see this has also been updated on this mesh as well. But let's remove this second array, I think, because it is making it look messy. And let's scale this in the Z axis. We don't really have to make this look exactly like this. So you can come up with your own design. Because I can't, this image is not a high resolution image to make out the details that are there. So I have to come up with my own details. So yeah, we have our first tower. We have our first tower. Yeah, so in the next part, we'll create maybe this larger tower, and then this part, and then we'll start adding in the different walls. Thank you for watching.